Chosen one, if you could see what heaven has already authorized in your direction, your knees would tremble and your heart would struggle to contain the weight of the joy that's coming. There are moments when God speaks softly, and there are moments when he speaks with urgency, and this is one of those moments where the urgency carries love, intention, and timing all at once. You've been wondering why the pressure has increased, why your sleep has been interrupted, why your spirit feels stretched between exhaustion and expectation. It's because something is shifting, and it is not small. This is not another season where you barely survive. This is a season where things begin to make sense in ways you never imagined they could. You've walked through doors that closed behind you, leaving you with no option to go back. You questioned whether you heard God clearly when he told you to let go, when he asked you to release people, patterns, and places that once felt safe. But safety is not the same as destiny. Comfort is not the same as calling. And what God is about to do in your life requires space, clarity, and obedience. That's why the pruning was intense. That's why the silence felt loud. That's why answers didn't come when you demanded them. Heaven was rearranging things while you were learning how to trust without explanations. There were nights you cried without words, mornings you woke up tired of being strong, and days you smiled while carrying battles no one knew about. God saw every tear. Not one of them fell to the ground unnoticed. They were counted, recorded, and honored. And now, those tears are becoming seeds. You thought you were losing time, but you were being positioned. You thought delays meant denial, but they were actually protection. If certain things had happened earlier, they would have destroyed you instead of developed you. God didn't say no. He said not yet, because he loves you too much to bless you prematurely. Chosen one, hear this clearly. What is coming will not look like how you imagined it. It will be better. It will be cleaner. It will be stronger. God is not about to give you a fragile blessing that collapses under pressure. He's about to give you something that can endure storms, criticism, and growth. That's why your character has been under construction. That's why you were tested in private. That's why obedience mattered when no one was watching. God was preparing you to hold what is about to be placed in your hands without losing yourself in the process. There are people who doubted you, dismissed you, and spoke over you as if your story was already finished. Some of them smiled in your face while quietly expecting you to fail. God heard every word. But instead of defending you loudly, he defended you strategically. He allowed time to reveal truth. And now the same ones who questioned your value will witness God elevate you without your permission or their approval. You won't need to explain yourself. The evidence will speak. You are stepping into a season where alignment replaces confusion. Things that once required force will begin to flow. Doors that felt heavy will open with ease. Conversations you feared will turn in your favor. Opportunities will find you without you chasing them. This is not luck, this is orchestration. God is lining up the right people, the right timing, and the right resources. What once felt delayed is now being accelerated. But acceleration does not mean chaos. It means precision. Heaven does nothing randomly. You've learned how to wait without becoming bitter. You've learned how to love without guarantees. You've learned how to stand alone without losing your faith. That maturity is about to pay dividends. God trusts you now in ways he couldn't before. He trusts your heart. He trusts your restraint. He trusts your discernment. And because he trusts you, he is releasing access. Access to rooms you never imagined entering. Access to conversations that shift your future. Access to favor that cannot be manipulated or stolen. This next move of God in your life will silence internal battles as much as external ones. Some of your warfare has been within, questioning your worth, your timing, your readiness. God is about to answer those doubts through experience, not explanation. You will live the proof. And once you taste it, you will never again question whether God is with you. You won't need constant confirmation. You will walk with quiet confidence, grounded in knowing that if God did it once, he can do it again. Chosen one, do not rush this moment. Do not minimize what you have survived. You didn't go through all of that just to arrive at something ordinary. God wastes nothing. Every setback sharpened you. Every disappointment refined you. Every lonely stretch strengthened your spiritual muscles. You are more prepared than you think. The fear you feel is not a warning. It's evidence that you are standing at the edge of growth. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is obedience in spite of it. Pay attention to what God has been highlighting in your spirit lately. The visions that keep returning. The ideas that won't let you rest. The pull toward purpose that feels heavier than before. That's not pressure from the world, that's invitation from heaven. God is inviting you to step into agreement with what he has already decided about you. But agreement requires action. Faith without movement stays theoretical. You don't need the full picture. You just need the next step. There will be resistance, not because you're wrong, but because you're right. Every major shift attracts opposition. But opposition does not mean defeat, it means confirmation. You are disrupting patterns, you are breaking cycles, you are ending bloodline struggles that lasted longer than you've been alive. What God is about to make happen through you will bless people you may never meet. That's why the battle was intense. Generational change is never casual. Guard your heart in this season. Not everyone who claps for you is assigned to walk with you. Some people are seasonal, not permanent, and that's okay. God will remove without apology what cannot go where He's taking you. Trust Him when relationships shift. Trust Him when conversations fade. Trust Him when solitude increases. Sometimes God isolates you not to punish you, but to prepare you. Noise decreases clarity, and clarity is essential where you're headed. You will soon look back at this version of yourself and barely recognize how much you have grown. The things that once triggered you will no longer control you. The opinions that once shook you will no longer define you. You will speak with authority born from experience, not ego. You will move with wisdom shaped by obedience, not impulse. And when people ask how you did it, you will know it was never about your strength alone. It was about surrender. Chosen one, do not shrink now. Do not play small now. Do not doubt now. You are closer than you think. Heaven is closer than it feels. God's hand is already moving behind the scenes, adjusting details you cannot see yet. What you are sensing is not imagination, it is discernment waking up. And as you remain faithful, humble, and attentive, you will begin to notice subtle shifts turning into undeniable breakthroughs, moments where timing aligns so perfectly that you realize this could not have been coincidence. This had to be God, because the way things are unfolding, the way hearts are changing, the way provision is showing up right when you need it, the way answers are meeting you in moments of quiet surrender, it's all pointing to something greater that is still unfolding, something that is building layer by layer, moment by moment, until suddenly what God has been preparing in secret begins to surface in ways that will leave you standing still, realizing that this was the moment everything started to change. That this was the turning point where faith met fulfillment and obedience met manifestation, and you began to understand that what God was about to make happen was not just for you, but through you, and it was only just beginning as the next phase starts to reveal itself in ways that continue to unfold beyond what your mind can currently grasp. Because the story is still being written and the momentum is still rising and the message God is releasing over your life is still moving forward into what comes next. And as that momentum rises, you will notice that your perspective begins to shift before your circumstances fully do. That is always how God works. He changes the lens before He changes the landscape. You start seeing yourself differently. You start responding differently. Things that once provoked fear now provoke prayer. Situations that once made you panic now make you pause and listen. This is not weakness. This is wisdom forming. God is teaching you how to move without reacting, how to speak without defending, how to trust without controlling. These inner shifts are proof that the outer breakthrough is close. There were lessons you could only learn by being misunderstood. There were strengths you could only develop by being overlooked. God allowed you to be hidden not because you lacked value, but because exposure before maturity can be dangerous. Not everyone deserves access to what God is growing in you. Not every environment can sustain what He is producing. That's why some doors closed without explanation. That's why some opportunities faded unexpectedly. They were not losses, they were filters. Chosen one, you are entering a phase where discernment will become sharper than ever. You will sense things before they happen. You will feel when something is off, even if it looks right. That is not paranoia, that is spiritual awareness. God is heightening your sensitivity because where you are going, not everything that looks good is God. And you will need to trust that quiet inner nudge more than external applause. The loudest voices are not always the wisest ones. You may feel moments of hesitation, not because you are unsure of God, but because you understand the weight of what He is doing. Responsibility increases with calling. Influence requires integrity. God is not just elevating you, He is anchoring you. He wants you rooted so deeply that when attention comes, it doesn't move you. When praise comes, it doesn't change you. When pressure comes, it doesn't break you. Stability is part of the blessing. There will be moments soon where you realize that old fears no longer fit who you are becoming. You will outgrow mindsets that once felt permanent. You will look back and wonder how you ever doubted yourself so deeply. Not because you suddenly became perfect, but because you became secure. Security doesn't come from having everything figured out. It comes from knowing who walks with you through the unknown. And God has been walking with you every step of the way. Pay attention to the new level of peace that has been settling in your spirit. Peace is not the absence of problems. It is the presence of trust. That peace is a sign that you are aligned. Alignment brings rest even when movement is required. You can be busy without being burdened. You can be stretched without being stressed. That balance is rare, and it is cultivated through surrender. Some of the prayers you whispered years ago are resurfacing now, not as desperation, but as readiness. God did not forget them. He was waiting for you to grow into them. What once would have overwhelmed you will now strengthen you. What once would have distracted you will now discipline you. Timing changes everything. And divine timing is never late, even when it feels slow. Chosen one, do not compare your process to anyone else's. Their path required different lessons. Their delays serve different purposes. Your story is custom designed. God tailored your journey with intention. Comparison only distorts gratitude. And gratitude is the language of those who understand that everything they have is grace. When you stay grateful, you stay grounded. When you stay grounded, you stay teachable, and teachability keeps you growing even after breakthrough. You will soon notice that people start seeking your counsel, drawn to your calm, your clarity, your insight. They won't always know why. It's because authority is forming in you. Not authority that demands attention, but authority that commands respect quietly. It's the kind that comes from walking through fire and not smelling like smoke. It's the kind that comes from obedience when disobedience would have been easier. There will be moments when God asks you to move before you feel fully ready. That is not recklessness. That is faith being activated. Readiness is often revealed in motion. As you step, clarity follows. As you obey, confidence grows. Waiting for perfect conditions will keep you stuck. God is teaching you how to trust Him step by step, not all at once. Chosen one, you are not behind. Let that truth settle deeply. You are not late. You are not disqualified. You are not forgotten. Heaven's calendar does not operate on human pressure. What looks slow to you is often precise to God. He is aligning things you cannot see, protecting you from outcomes you cannot predict, and preparing you for impact you cannot yet measure. There will be conversations ahead that change everything. Words spoken at the right moment will unlock doors you've prayed about for years. Do not underestimate the power of your voice in this season. Speak with intention. Speak with humility. Speak with courage. Your words carry weight now because they are rooted in truth, not impulse. You may feel a strong pull to simplify your life. Less noise, fewer distractions, more intention. That is not isolation, that is focus. God often simplifies before He multiplies. He reduces clutter so clarity can increase. What He is about to entrust to you requires focus. And focus requires letting go of what drains you unnecessarily. Chosen one, remember how far you've come. Not just in achievements, but in resilience. Remember the moments you thought you wouldn't make it, yet here you are, still standing, still believing, still hoping. That alone is evidence of grace at work. And if God carried you through that, He will surely carry you through what's next. There will be seasons ahead where joy returns unexpectedly, laughter that feels lighter, smiles that come naturally, not because everything is perfect, but because healing has taken place. You've done the inner work. You faced what hurt. You released what was heavy. And now your soul has room to breathe again. Chosen one, do not rush to announce everything God is doing. Some things are meant to be protected until they mature. Silence can be stewardship. Not everyone needs to know what you are building. Let fruit speak louder than plans. Let consistency speak louder than excitement. God rewards faithfulness more than visibility. As you continue forward, trust that even mistakes will not derail you. God is greater than your missteps. He can redeem detours. He can restore lost ground. Your responsibility is not perfection. It is obedience. Stay responsive. Stay humble. Stay open. Correction is not rejection. It is refinement. You're entering a stretch where faith will feel more natural than fear, not because fear disappears, but because faith has grown stronger. You've seen God move before. You've watched Him make a way. That memory builds confidence. Testimony strengthens trust, and trust creates boldness. Chosen one, the impact of what God is doing in your life will extend beyond material success. It will shift atmospheres. It will bring hope to people who thought change was impossible. Your story will become a reminder that God still restores, still heals, still elevates. Not because you are perfect, but because you were willing. There will be moments when you feel overwhelmed by the responsibility of what God is placing on you. In those moments, return to intimacy. Return to prayer that is honest, not polished. God does not need performance. He desires relationship, and relationship sustains calling when pressure increases. You will begin to sense a deeper hunger for purpose rather than applause. Validation will no longer satisfy you the way it once did. Meaning will matter more than recognition. Impact will matter more than image. That shift is essential. God can trust those who value purpose over popularity. Chosen one. As this next phase continues to unfold, stay anchored in truth. The truth about who God is, the truth about who you are becoming, the truth about what really matters. Let that truth guide your decisions, your boundaries, your relationships. Truth keeps you free even when responsibility increases. And as everything continues to align, as doors open gradually and clarity increases step by step, you will realize that the season you once questioned was actually the foundation for everything that is now emerging, that the waiting was shaping you, that the silence was strengthening you, that the struggle was preparing you for influence, and that what God is making happen is unfolding with intention, with precision, with love that goes deeper than you expected. And as this movement continues forward, as your faith stretches into action and your obedience turns into momentum, you remain in this unfolding moment, aware that more is still being revealed, more is still forming, more is still coming into alignment, and the story is continuing to move forward without ending, without closing, without concluding, because what God is doing is still in motion, still rising, still building, and still carrying you into what comes next. And in this forward motion, you may begin to notice how your intuition grows quieter, yet clearer, less frantic, and more assured. God is teaching you how to listen without anxiety, how to discern without suspicion, how to move without needing constant reassurance. That is maturity. That is trust becoming embodied. You no longer chase signs because you have learned to recognize alignment. You no longer beg for validation because you have learned to rest in assignment. What once felt urgent now feels intentional, and that shift alone changes everything. There will be moments when memories try to pull you backward, reminding you of past versions of yourself, old mistakes, former limitations. But those memories no longer define you, they simply remind you of distance traveled. God does not bring you this far to keep you tethered to who you were. He brings memory not to trap you, but to teach you gratitude. Every scar has a story, and every story now carries wisdom. Wisdom allows you to revisit the past without living there. Chosen one, your capacity is expanding. What once overwhelmed you now stretches you without breaking you. You can hold more responsibility, more vision, more complexity. That growth did not happen overnight. It was built through consistency and small decisions, through faithfulness when reward was not immediate, through choosing integrity when shortcuts were available. God watches the small things closely because small things reveal the heart, and your heart has been proven steady. You may notice that distractions lose their appeal. Things that once pulled your attention now feel hollow. That is not boredom. That is discernment refining your appetite. God is teaching you how to hunger for what nourishes you rather than what entertains you. Purpose-fed lives do not crave empty noise for long. When vision becomes clear, frivolous things lose their grip. There will be days when progress feels invisible, when effort seems unnoticed, when prayers feel repetitive. In those moments, remember that roots grow quietly. No one applauds underground work, yet everything depends on it. God often does his deepest work where no one can see. And when the time comes for growth to surface, it does so suddenly, surprising those who assume nothing was happening. Chosen one, do not be startled when your circle becomes smaller. Depth requires space. God is not removing people to leave you lonely. He is refining your environment to protect your focus. Not everyone understands He weight you carry. Not everyone can celebrate without envy. And that is okay. God will always provide the right companionship for the right season. Trust him to curate your connections. You are learning how to respond rather than react. That alone is a sign of authority forming within you. Reaction is driven by emotion. Response is guided by wisdom. Wisdom pauses, prays, and chooses. And in that pause, God speaks. He gives strategy where emotion would have caused damage. He gives peace where panic would have caused regret. There may be moments when God asks you to forgive without receiving an apology, to release without receiving closure. That is not injustice. That is freedom. Closure is not something others give you. It is something you choose when you trust God with the outcome. Forgiveness does not excuse behavior. It releases your future from being chained to someone else's past. Chosen one, the confidence God is building in you is quiet but unshakable. It does not announce itself loudly. It does not need to dominate rooms. It enters gently and stands firmly. This kind of confidence is rooted in knowing who you are without needing to prove it. And that confidence attracts favor naturally because it carries peace with it. You will soon realize that some of the things you begged God for in the past would have cost you peace if you had received them too early. Timing saved you. Delay preserved you. God's no was never rejection, it was redirection. And now that you are aligned, what comes will not steal from you. It will strengthen you. There is a new level of patience growing in you, not passive waiting, but active trust. You are learning how to work diligently without striving obsessively. You are learning how to plan without clinging. You are learning how to hold vision with open hands. That balance allows God to breathe on your efforts without resistance. Chosen one, your faith is no longer based on what you feel, but on what you know. Feelings fluctuate. Truth remains. And when storms come, as they always do, you are no longer shaken at the foundation. You may bend, but you do not break. That resilience is not accidental. It is the fruit of endurance. You may find yourself increasingly drawn to moments of stillness, not because you are tired of life, but because you value clarity. Silence is no longer uncomfortable, it is sacred. In the quiet, God fine-tunes direction. In the stillness, He confirms what noise obscured. And you are learning how to protect those moments fiercely. Chosen one, do not underestimate the power of consistency. You do not need dramatic gestures to be impactful. Faithfulness over time produces results that intensity alone cannot sustain. God honors steady obedience. He blesses those who show up when it's boring, when it's hard, when it's unnoticed. That is where trust is built. You will notice that gratitude deepens even before everything changes. You are thankful not only for what God has done, but for who He has made you through it. Gratitude becomes your posture, not your reaction. And gratitude keeps you aligned with abundance rather than lack. It keeps your heart open to receive without entitlement. Chosen one, the season ahead will require courage, not recklessness, but courage rooted in conviction. You will be asked to speak when silence would be easier, to stand when compromise would be safer, to believe when logic hesitates. Courage is not loud, it is steady, and God supplies it when obedience requires it. There will be moments when you realize that you no longer need to convince anyone of your calling. Those who are assigned to you will recognize it. Those who are not will move on. Your responsibility is not to persuade, it is to steward. Steward your gifts, steward your time. Saint, steward your heart. God handles the rest. You may sense a growing awareness of impact beyond yourself. Decisions feel heavier because you know they affect more than just you. That awareness is part of leadership. Leadership is not about control, it is about responsibility. God is shaping you to consider consequences with wisdom rather than fear. Chosen one, stay teachable even as you grow. Growth can tempt pride if humility is neglected. But humility does not mean shrinking, it means remaining open. God pours into those who remain open. He guides those who listen, and He elevates those who remember where they came from. There will be unexpected moments of joy that catch you off guard, moments when you realize you are laughing freely again, moments when peace feels effortless. Those moments are not distractions, they are confirmations. God is reminding you that joy is part of the promise, not just endurance. You are learning how to rest without guilt. Rest is not laziness, it is trust expressed physically. When you rest, you declare that God is at work even when you are not. That trust invites renewal. Renewal restores clarity, and clarity strengthens purpose. Chosen one, you may notice that your prayers change tone. Less pleading, more alignment. Less asking for escape, more asking for wisdom. That shift reflects growth. God is not just answering your prayers, He is shaping how you pray. And prayers shaped by alignment carry power. As you continue forward, remain attentive to the subtle confirmations God sends. A word at the right time, a reminder through unexpected means, a peace that settles when a decision is right. God speaks in many ways, and you are learning His language more fluently now. There will be seasons when the workload increases, when responsibility stretches you thin. In those moments, remember to return to the source. Burnout is not a badge of H. Owner, sustainability matters. God is not impressed by exhaustion. He values obedience paired with wisdom. Chosen one, your story will inspire without you trying to inspire. Authenticity resonates more than performance. When you speak truthfully, when you live consistently, when you love genuinely, impact follows naturally. God uses authenticity as a vessel for influence. You are beginning to understand that success without peace is not success at all. And because you understand that, God can trust you with both. Peace will guard your decisions. Purpose will guide your steps. And when challenges arise, you will face them with perspective rather than panic. As this journey continues, as growth unfolds layer by layer, as clarity sharpens and confidence settles, you remain in motion, aware that every step matters, that every choice carries weight, that every act of obedience adds to what God is building. And as this process keeps moving forward, without rush and without retreat, you stay present in the unfolding, attentive to what God is revealing moment by moment, knowing that the work is still active, the vision is still expanding, the transformation is still happening, and what God is making happen continues to rise and take shape beyond this point, carrying forward into what remains ahead, still unfolding, still developing, still progressing, without ending here, without closing the door, without drawing a final line, because the movement continues and the message remains alive and in motion. And as that motion carries on, you may begin to sense a deeper calm settling over your decisions, a steadiness that wasn't there before. This calm is not indifference, and it is not passivity. It is confidence rooted in knowing that God is guiding each step, even when the full path is not visible. You no longer feel the need to rush outcomes because you trust the process. You no longer feel the need to compete because you understand assignment. What is meant for you will not pass you by, and what is not meant for you will no longer tempt you the way it once did. There will be moments when God asks you to trust Him in ways that stretch logic. He may ask you to give when it feels inconvenient, to wait when it feels counterproductive, to speak when it feels risky, or to stay silent when it feels unnatural. These instructions are not tests meant to frustrate you. They're invitations to deeper partnership. God is not just leading you, He's involving you. He wants you to learn how to move with Him, not just for Him. Chosen one, your obedience is becoming more instinctive. You don't need to overthink every nudge anymore. You've learned His voice through experience. You recognize the difference between fear and caution, between impulse and instruction. That discernment did not come cheaply. It was developed through trial and error, through moments when you missed it and learned, through moments when you hesitated and grew. God honors growth, not perfection. You may notice that your tolerance for chaos is decreasing. Drama feels heavier now. Confusion feels draining. That is not weakness, that is refinement. God is teaching you how to protect your peace, because peace is the environment where clarity thrives. When peace is present, direction becomes clearer. When peace is absent, even good opportunities can become burdens. There will be times when God allows you to see the fruit of your obedience quickly, and times when fruit takes longer to appear. Both seasons are purposeful. Quick fruit builds encouragement. Delayed fruit builds endurance. You need both. Encouragement keeps you hopeful. Endurance keeps you faithful. And faithfulness is what God rewards consistently. Chosen one, do not be surprised when old doors try to reopen. Past con. Actions may resurface. Old habits may whisper. Former comforts may invite you back. These moments are not setbacks. They are confirmations of growth. What once had power over you now simply reveals how far you've come. You are no longer who you were, and your spirit knows it. There is a growing awareness in you that legacy matters more than momentary success. You are thinking beyond immediate results. You are considering long-term impact. That shift is significant. It means God is shaping you with a future-focused mindset. Decisions are no longer just about what feels good now, but about what will still matter years from now. You may feel a stronger pull toward authenticity, even if it costs approval. Masks feel heavier now. Pretending feels exhausting. God is drawing you into wholeness. Wholeness does not mean flawlessness. It means alignment. It means your inner life and outer life are no longer at war, and that alignment releases strength. Chosen one, there will be moments when you have to trust God's timing, even when others pressure you to move faster. Pressure does not always come from opposition. Sometimes it comes from well-meaning voices who don't understand your assignment. Learn to listen respectfully without surrendering direction. God speaks to you about your path, not everyone else. You are learning how to celebrate progress without becoming complacent. Gratitude does not replace hunger, it fuels it. When you acknowledge what God has already done, you create space for what He is still doing. Celebration keeps your heart soft. Soft hearts remain receptive. There will be times when the weight of responsibility feels heavy, when leadership feels lonely, when carrying vision feels isolating. In those moments, remember that solitude is not abandonment. God often meets you most clearly when distractions are minimal. Loneliness can become intimacy when you invite Him into it. Chosen one, your compassion is deepening. You see people differently now. You recognize hidden battles. You respond with grace where you once reacted with judgment. That compassion is part of your calling. Influence without compassion becomes control. God is ensuring that your influence heals rather than harms. You may notice that your prayers become more strategic. You pray with awareness now, not just emotion. You pray with understanding, not just desire. God is teaching you how to intercede, how to partner with His will rather than trying to bend it. Prayers aligned with His heart carry authority. There will be seasons when your faith is quiet but strong. You won't always feel emotional intensity, but you will feel stability. Faith does not always shout. Sometimes it stands silently and refuses to move. That kind of faith sustains you when feelings fluctuate. Chosen one, as your confidence grows, guard against isolation. Independence is not the same as strength. God designed growth to happen in community, even if that community is small. Allow trusted voices to speak into your life. Accountability protects calling. Wise counsel sharpens discernment. You're beginning to understand that humility and authority can coexist. You don't have to diminish yourself to stay humble. Humility is not denying what God has placed in you. It is acknowledging the source. When you honor the source, you honor the gift appropriately. There will be opportunities ahead that look good on the surface, but do not align with your values. Saying no will require courage, but every no that honors God protects a greater yes. Discernment is not about choosing between good and bad. It is about choosing between good and God. Chosen one, you may sense a renewed strength rising within you, not frantic energy, but steady resolve. Resolve carries you through resistance. Resolve. V keeps you moving when motivation fades. God strengthens resolve when purpose is clear. You are learning how to wait actively. Waiting no longer means inactivity, it means preparation. It means sharpening skills, strengthening character, deepening faith. Waiting becomes productive. When you trust that God is working alongside you, there will be moments when gratitude surprises you. When you realize you are thankful for lessons you once resented. Perspective changes pain into wisdom. Wisdom transforms wounds into tools. And tools help you build what God has placed in your heart. Chosen one, your life is becoming a testimony, not of perfection, but of perseverance. People will see consistency before they see success. They will see faithfulness before they see fruit. And that order matters. God often reveals fruit after faithfulness has been established. As you continue to move forward, remain attentive to the small confirmations. They are reminders that you are not alone. God speaks through details, through timing, through peace that settles when decisions align. Those confirmations strengthen trust. You are learning how to balance boldness with patience. Boldness pushes you forward. Patience keeps you grounded. Together, they allow you to move with confidence without rushing ahead of God. Chosen one, there will be days when progress feels slow and nights when doubts try to resurface. In those moments, remember that doubt does not disqualify you. It invites you back to trust. Faith is not the absence of doubt. It is choosing obedience despite it. You may feel a growing sense of responsibility to steward your influence wisely, even if it feels small right now. Influence is not measured by numbers alone. It is measured by impact. One obedient life can shift countless others. There will be seasons when God stretches you beyond what feels comfortable. Stretching does not mean breaking. It means capacity is increasing. New capacity allows new levels of blessing to flow without overwhelming you. Chosen one, your identity is becoming more secure. You are no longer defined by approval or rejection. You are grounded in knowing who you are and whose you are. That security frees you to love generously without fear of loss. As this journey continues, as growth deepens and understanding widens, you remain in this unfolding process, attentive to each step, aware that transformation is ongoing, that clarity continues to sharpen, that purpose continues to expand, and that what God is making happen is still developing, still forming, still aligning in ways that extend beyond this moment, beyond this stretch of the road, carrying forward into what remains ahead without pause and without conclusion. Because the movement is still active, the work is still alive, and the story continues to move forward, unfolding layer by layer, step by step into everything that is yet to come. Chosen one, as this message comes to rest, let it settle deep within you as a reminder that nothing about your journey has been accidental, wasted, or overlooked. Every step, every delay, every moment of doubt and endurance has been woven together with divine intention. You are not standing at the edge of possibility by chance. You are here because obedience carried you, faith sustained you, and grace covered you when strength ran low. What God is about to make happen will exceed your expectations, not to impress you, but to confirm His faithfulness. Walk forward without fear, anchored in truth, steady in purpose, and confident in knowing that the same God who brought you this far will complete what He began. unfolding His promise through you in ways that will glorify Him, string, then others, and forever remind you that being chosen was never about perfection, but about trust fulfilled.